Good evening, ladies and gentlemen.
What up? What's happening, everybody? Welcome back. Blood Splatter Chatter. Verno with you. Here, week 5 of the road to Halloween, talking about the slashers, proto slashers, and giallo films that help pave the path to John Carpenter's Halloween. And tonight, talking about one of the most beloved giallo films of all time, Dario Argento's Deep Red from 1975. And here with me, got the regular crew. Bring them in one at a time from Dr. Doom's fan club. It's Big Stu.
What's up, brother? Good to see you. Thanks for having me. Glad to be here. Another classic that I haven't watched yet. So
I love that.
So glad to be here and be a part of the conversation.
Hell yeah. Happy to have you. And of course, my brother from another, the missing link. What up? Looking good, man. He dropped 2 buttons down for us tonight.
That was a
choice. He was like, too sexy. No.
Too hot, man. No, happy to be here once again. I also have never seen this one. I've heard you and Robbie mention this one many a time, so I was very glad to get into this one.
Check it off the list. I'm glad for you guys to see it, just so I can keep. I've referenced this movie like 50 times, and you guys haven't seen it. That's why I'm glad. Like, let's get to it, so at least you guys know what the hell we're talking about. But you guys, let's dive into it, man. Dario Argento. Probably the most famous of the Italian directors of the era. Got an interesting past, of course, raised in Italy, surrounded by art. You know what I mean? It's just a different environment over there. Yeah. And he was like drenched in this stuff because he was raised by his dad was an executive producer, one of those people in the movie industry in Italy. And his mother was a photographer, and she did like glamour portraits of Hollywood actresses. You guys remember the bit in this where they show Carlo's mom? Yeah, she's like, I was an actress, I was a star, and they show all these different pictures of her on the wall. Those are actual pictures that Argento's mom. I think most of them.
Okay, I was wondering. I knew that was some Easter that I wasn't catching.
I feel like it was weird like that. Like it kind of stood out. But anyway, he got his big break. He was a critic. He was a writer and a movie critic, which I think is pretty cool because that's what we are. Maybe we could be like cool like Argento one day. But then he did Once Upon a Time in the West with Sergio Leone. He co-wrote that, and that kind of, I think, is really what put him like on the map and got his name really out there, and what led him to be able to direct Bird with the Crystal Plumage, which, as we said, that came, I think, 5 or 6 years after Blood and Black Lace, after some giallo had been coming out. And that was the one that really kicked it off. It was a huge success in Italy, a pretty big success in Europe, and a minor success in the States. And again, it's what really kicked off the Italian giallo boom. And between then and 1975, there's like 100 of these things. Argento did a few, and everybody did one. Any Italian director, they just switched and they started making Italian giallo. And then it started to fizzle out until he did Deep Red, which was the last giallo that he did for quite a while, actually. It's his first collaboration with Goblin, who we'll get into the music. He did, I'm not sure how many he did with Goblin, come to think of it, but at least a few. I know he did Suspiria and at least a couple other. But Goblin's the shit, so can't wait to get into them. And he's just got his style. It's so fucking convoluted. This is the first thing I want to ask you guys. What version did you watch? Because there's 2 very distinct or very different versions. There's one that's like 2 hours and like maybe up to 10 minutes. There's a few different run times, but then the American cut is like 1 hour and 45 minutes, like 25 minutes shorter. Where'd you watch it, Stu?
YouTube.
Well, yeah. How long was it?
It was like one. I want to say it was longer than 145. Hold on, I can look up and tell you. It was definitely shy of the 2 hour and 10 minute cut, though. Yeah.
Link, where'd you watch it?
Am I muted? Okay, sorry, It's very delayed. Sorry. I was gonna say thinking of other shit because I meant to watch it on your Shutter, but I only have that logged in on my Xbox. I gotta ask you about that later if I can.
Oh, I got you. What up, Sal?
I watched it on Tubi actually, but it says it's the uncensored version. It's like Stu said, shy of like 145. It's like an hour 44 and some seconds.
If it's an hour 44, then that's definitely the US cut. Because
that's what I watched.
Okay, so the one you watched was like an hour and 45 too.
It was one. I was wrong. It was 144 on the dot or something like that.
Okay, so let's just get this bit out of the way, just to because they're so different. I watched both of them this week. I've watched both of them a handful of times, and the first I watched the original, the OG cut, which is like 2 hours and 5 minutes. And if I'm being perfectly honest, I think it bogs down. It's very divisive. People are kind of really divided which is the better cut. There's Daria Nicolodi, the character we'll be getting into. She ended up marrying Argento. She's the lead. She's Gianna in the film, like the main chick that's in the film. She is in it. They cut out like almost everything with her. Like what we get in the American cut just has a little bit of her. There's another like 20 minutes of them speaking.
Yeah, isn't like more like flirtatious stuff between her and the main dude?
They cut out all the romantic stuff, and then just like even like some scenes, they'll just cut out chunks of it that add that where in the Italian cut there's humor. They just felt it was Argento wanted to make it a less light film, so they cut out a lot of the romance, almost all the romance, and all the humor where they could. And in my opinion, like the version that you guys watched and that I watched last, it's way tighter. It's debatable which one is harder to follow because there's plot holes in the US version because there's just chunks of it cut out that are explaining.
So are you saying that the US version was the version Argento ultimately wanted cut?
No, what it was, and I just learned this because before I thought it was, I didn't think he had anything to do with the cut. He knew that American audiences would want a different flavor, and he thought that he thought it was more suitable for American audiences. So that's why the Italian and European version, when it goes to the stuff that isn't on the US cut, it's not dubbed anymore, and it just goes from English to Italian with subtitles. And it's like I said, it's most of it is the two main characters talking, and there's a lot of stuff about like gender. You got the one little bit in the US version that we saw where they're arm wrestling. There's they don't keep arm wrestling, but there's a lot of like them talking about stuff like that. That would be like the battle of the sexes type of thing, which was a huge thing going on in Italy in the 70s. He plays with it a lot, like just the changing gender dynamics of the time.
I feel like I gotta watch that because there was a brief moment where they like made a comment in the US version about he, without getting too far, he was like, women are naturally weaker, and then she's like, what? Like, did you just say that shit? And it kind of, not to say it didn't go anywhere, but I feel like I would appreciate those other scenes where them kind of expanding upon that.
That's why, like I told you guys, I'm like, I would just watch the US cut. Some people might say that's blasphemy, but I think it's really good to watch both of them. But it's almost like once you've seen the extended cut, depending on what you're in the mood for, the American cut is slimmer, it's tighter, and it like you feel the horror more. Like it feels like a more intense kind of movie.
What about the violence and the gore? Because I thought the violence and the gore in the US cut version or whatever was great. I thought it's still
solid.
All that's the same as far as I know, and like I'm not 100% on it, but I'm pretty sure they don't cut out any of the set pieces. And pretty much any time that you hear Goblin, that you hear the soundtrack, they didn't cut out any of that shit either. So like, in my opinion, when and it's super badass music, but like in the European cut, the first time I watched it, I'm like, God damn, there's just a lot of this score. Like, God, they use it a lot. And then when you watch the American cut and they cut out all the other stuff, it's like, oh my God, they use it. Like, it's just like music video after music video, kill after kill, which is cool. Like, I prefer it, but like I said, the other version, it adds a lot more to the characters. It makes some things more there's less plot holes, I guess. Like the other one, at times it does feel disjointed. They'll just skip a bunch of shit. Another big change is like the European version opens up with the main character, Marcus, and you see him teaching. He's like doing like this jazz class with his band. And you see like, oh, he is a pianist. Before, like later on, he's just playing piano. It's kind of out of nowhere. Or he's talking to Carlo about it. And another big thing that he says in that, he's basically telling the jazz band, like, you're too sharp. You're too on point. This is jazz. This is art. You got to loosen it up. It should be messy. It should be sloppy. And I think he's talking about like the way that he likes film to be, like not so crisp, not so sharp, and you know what I mean, just shit like that. So we've got that out of the way. I'm sure I'll try to avoid getting too in it. What up, Allison Troy? Appreciate you being here. What's going on? So that's not a painting.
As well.
Let's get into it. Big Stu, first time watching. Yes. What are your thoughts overall, my brother?
Overall, it was. I really enjoyed it. I see. I'm a sucker for the style, man. I love statements of style in this movie. Is that if it's nothing else, it did had me lagging at some points, man. There was some slow, like it was slow in between those kills for me at some points, even on the hour and 45 minute version of it. But yeah, this is so I've been so familiar with the score for so long. My roommate way back in the day was into Goblin and put me onto them, and he was more. This was when I was not into horror. He was into horror. Then you knew the connection with Argento and all that, but just that you're like that Italian European prog rock at that time, that was like a big wave that we were both on at one point in time. And man, like this soundtrack is the one. Like I always knew it as the Profondo Rosso track or whatever, the Italian version. So it was really cool putting the music to those moments and really seeing it play out. And yeah,
that's cool.
It was great. It was great. It was like I said, it definitely, like you gotta kind of buy the ticket and take the ride with giallo, right? You know the story's going to be convoluted as hell and all over the place, and you're not necessarily going to get the resolutions you want, like story wise. All the plot twists are not going to land for you, but like you're going to get that impression of style. You're going to get that artistic statement, and this one delivered on that one for me. So
I love that, you knowing this score pretty well.
Yes,
we played it like you said it to me again earlier. Yeah, you made a beat back in the day using chunks of this score, which is badass. My brother, yeah. You guys talking about? We'll get there. I'm curious if you guys saw it, but hold on to that. I want to know if you guys saw it.
So true.
But Missing Link, again, you've heard us mention this a billion times. You've seen quite a few of these things now, and this is supposedly the pinnacle of it. So I'm really curious, man. How did it land for you?
I enjoyed it. I think I can safely say I'm a giallo fan now. Maybe I've been bitten by the bug. Stu made some great points. Like it's you kind of got to know what you're signing up for. You're either going to be down for the vibe or not. And it varies. The vibe varies between these certain types of films, but I enjoyed this one. I feel like they're all almost, that's kind of like a trope of giallo, is that it's got to be convoluted in some sort of nature, but I actually, the characters they felt like they were actually real characters, to be honest. Like the main dude in particular, I didn't find him to be annoying, like even with his sexist comments. I get that was a bit, but it's the style over it's where it shines is like thematics and like the style and kind of like meshing the two, and where it like lacks in like where it kind of like plot contrivances and the convoluted plot holes, where it lacks in that area, it always like it balances out with like the thematics and the style of it. And to be honest, I really did enjoy like I wish I got to see the other version now, because I did kind of enjoy the rapport, the relationship that the dude had with the chick that was helping him.
Dude, in some ways it's kind of great, but it kills me that it's not in English. And not that it's like, I can watch an entire movie that's not in English, but the way it just goes from, you've got these, like one of the best dubs in Italian. You know what I mean? Didn't you guys think the dub in this was really good?
I did.
Honestly,
I think that's because I think his name is David Hemmings. I'll pull him up here. But the main guy, he's speaking English, and so is Dario Argento. And I'm almost positive that he did his own dub. I don't know that, but it just looks like that goes together. You know what I mean? It's still off a little bit because it's a dub, but I think it's so much better because most of them are speaking English. And that's another thing that Argento does a lot, and he says this in the special features. A lot of times it is like a foreigner that's in Italy, or a foreign, like an American in Suspiria, Susie Bannon, that's in Germany. He just likes the idea of a foreigner being in a foreign land, and that just adding to kind of just that dynamics that you get. But like this is just another thing I was going to mention. Like Bird with the Crystal Plumage, his first giallo, this almost feels like a remake in a way. It's so similar. There's twists, and you won't like guess who the killer is in Bird with the Crystal Plumage because you've seen this or anything, but it is like the same beats. A foreigner sees a crime, gets obsessed with it, follows it, just like a lot. It's very, very similar. Just the way that they use, this clue was a piece of art that led me there. Like same kind of stuff like that. A lot of
what was the music like? What was the music like in that one?
More traditional, like good, but not Goblin. I can't remember exactly, but more kind of just regular music, but good regular music. Good, good score still.
It's hard
he's a tasteful gentleman.
Goblin,
yeah, it's crazy. He got them like I was watching some interview. He said he got them out of the conservatory, like they were young kids.
Yeah,
like that hadn't even really made it on the music scene, and he heard some track they did where they put together a bunch of wind elements or something like that, wind sounds, and that convinced him like I'm gonna give these kids a shot, and like man, they freaking crushed it, dude.
I love that you could just see like Argento's like, I don't know if ego is the right word, but confidence, I guess, and like his stature, because the way I understand it, I think he actually went to all these different European countries, and he first tried to get like Deep Purple, he tried to get Genesis, he tried to get Pink Floyd, he went to all of them, and he said, I realized all the really good ones are busy. Like they all were interested. He like went and hung out with them stuff, went to their studios and whatnot. And that's when he found Goblin. Well, thank God, I think, because I don't think, you know what I mean? I don't know. I mean, don't get wrong. Those other bands could have probably done something just as cool, but Goblin is so
distinct.
You guys know Zappa at all? Frank Zappa? You guys ever listen to Zappa?
Oh, yeah.
He's like, they're like Zappa with early Pink Floyd with a touch of some of the jammiest Grateful Dead stuff with the bass lines.
Yeah.
This improv style, and it's just like, but they're so cool at the same time. Like you said, like still out of all those, they stand alone. They're like this very unique sound. And then after this, what they do in Suspiria couldn't really be more different from this. It doesn't sound anything like this in a lot of ways. I've had to look up some point in this conversation like what else they did with Argento. I'll check that out in a bit.
There was one of like, I'm sorry, go ahead, bro.
Oh, I was going to say real quick. The music in this was reminding me of like Daft Punk's Tron album. Like I could see it, like Daft Punk was inspired heavily by Goblin, and which I think is awesome. I love Daft Punk, but
hell yeah. I'm looking here and it's just saying creative scores for his films Profondo Rosso, Deep Red, and Suspiria. I thought they did Inferno at least.
It's one of those like inspired all-time creative pairings though that like I think it made their career. It really put them on the map. And I think it was just like such a great great backing. It was really what Argento needed.
It made the film. And this is the Road to Halloween series. So John Carpenter has said he's very much inspired by like the look and the feel of the film and the camera work and all that stuff. But also, obviously, he did the score for Halloween, and he says this film in particular was a major influence, not like on like what the music sounded like, but how the music is used in the film, and then certain aspects of the sound.
I could definitely see the influence. Like it creates feeling, and I mean that's what music's supposed to do, but. Like the Carpenter Halloween score, like these scores, they have a certain vibe to they incite certain feelings when you hear them. Like they nail that down masterfully.
And they're
I can definitely see that.
They stand out so much. You know what I mean? It's like it's like so much a part of it. When other, a lot of music, we say all the time, like, sometimes you don't notice the best scores because they're inobtrusive and they're just going along with it. But then there's something like this or Halloween where you can't help but notice it. It's like you got to be deaf to
it's a banger.
One big difference that I noticed, I think this to be true, like in Halloween, they don't take the background audio all the way out. Like when the music really comes in heavy, like during a scene, there's still like you can still hear like Jamie Lee breathing or whimpering
Yeah,
or
yeah.
whatever. In this, they take everything out.
I
There's
love
like
it.
music
Yeah,
video
it's just
time,
drop. It's
and
just
it could be
drop.
anything. They can just be showing a building and looking around, and it's like, it's like, oh, shit, what is
That's like the
happening?
great part about like when it's especially fire, you know somebody's about to get murdered. Like that's what the great part about it. You're like, man, this is some super heat.
They
I
did
know the
that
killer's around the corner.
in the beginning, where after they did like it was kind of like after they did the fortune teller, the psychic lady or whatever, and they're kind of like doing the opening, and it's like from the POV of the killer looking at all the weird statues and shit, but it's like the goblin music just comes in out of nowhere, and I was just like, yeah, man, I'm fuck with you. And like it was like out of nowhere, but I was like, I dig this, I dig it, you know.
Yeah.
And there's so much. I mean, there's so many different pieces that they use in it. There's certain themes that they keep going back to,
Yeah.
but they throw you a lot of curveballs along the way. Sal saying, I wonder if there was more backstory to the German psychic in the beginning. Are you talking like are you talking in like maybe the European version? Because if that's what you're talking about, then I would say no. But if you're talking like in general, I do not know. But I'm pretty sure what we get from her is the same in both versions. In the US version, there's that like she's on the phone. And that's the one bit in the US version that it does go to Italian for like 10 seconds. Like she's speaking Italian on the phone and then it goes away. Allison Troy says Suspiria would have been lesser without Goblin. Hell yes, could not agree more. And there is no Suspiria without this movie. Great point. Both Daria Nicolodi and Goblin came into the Argento verse here. And like the story with Daria Nicolodi, I'm going to pull this up. We can talk about the cast a little bit here. With I'm not 100% positive if they were actually dating yet or if they were just like into each other at this point, Daria Nicolodi and Dario Argento. But like from what she says, like their relationship is mirrored in their films. Like she's a reoccurring, not character, but she's a reoccurring cast member in a bunch of his films after this. And like as their relationship kind of starts to go downhill, her characters become like less likable. And shit, like that's how he writes her into the movie. And in this one, she couldn't be more charming. You could totally see it as like, oh, this is a new girlfriend, new relationship. She's minding her P's and Q's all the way. She's really trying to be overly charming. And there's a lot, obviously, in the American version, there is a lot of that cut out. Like
I love the way she slammed dude's arm down during that arm wrestling match, man. Like with authority. That was awesome.
One thing I noticed,
no shit.
He's all upset. That's a cheat. That's an absolute cheat, and all that. But when he goes to do it, he says 1, 2, 3, and then he goes before he says go, which I always love.
Yeah, it's Funkhead.
Do you guys get Paul McCartney vibes from him?
Hell yes, absolute bro. Yeah, I kept saying like this is like almost like reminds me of a Beatles movie. Yeah, that's like his twin, his celebrity twin, Paul McCartney.
I can't take it out of my head. Yeah, he's great. I think he's my favorite of the Argento like lead guys in his giallo films. I love Susie Bannion or Bannon, whatever it is from Suspiria, but he's really, really good. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna pull this up in a minute. If we got any more on the characters, we can go to that. But I do want to talk about your guys' favorite kills and set pieces, and then add more to the style. Lick, I was telling Stu before you got backstage, but like the way I look at it, like there's a bunch of there's set piece kills, and then there's like set pieces in this movie that don't lead to kills. You know what I mean? So I would count that too. I'll just start out and say I think my favorite. There's a bunch of good kills and different set pieces, but I would, and Lick, you tell me if you would consider this like a set piece, like when he's doing that bit where he's dum 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 playing the piano and reaching over and grabbing his weapon when like the killer is in his house while he's practicing piano, and it's all leading up to it. Then he jumps up, closes the door after the phone rings. To me, I think that would be considered like a set piece, but there's no kill at the end of it. So that's kind of what I'm talking about. Those even when they're going on gliding along the table, I think that's a set piece in a movie, just not a set piece kill. But it's all about the style is all wrapped up in all of it.
I know, I absolutely agree with that. You know, well, I guess at least a kill, but even the dude at the end, Carlo, when he's being spoiler alert dragged, you know, that whole thing that's a set piece that leads to a death. But no, I'd say that moment definitely warrants to be one of the greater moments. But my favorite, there are a lot. This is difficult.
You want me to run through them to remind you?
Yeah.
Well, there's the psychic that gets killed. Close up bits, like I said. There's
Beginning,
the
that was
piano
gnarly.
bitch that I mentioned. There's Rigetti, the girl that gets dunked. There's him going to the haunted house. I would call that a set piece. There's the dude that's getting his mouth smashed off of everything. That ends up getting killed. There's him finding the body, and then there's the Carlo bit at the end.
I did okay, so I was trying to, in terms of kills, I was boiling it down to like the chick who was drowned in boiling water, or the psychic. I did think it was. I loved just anytime someone got hacked in this movie, it was very impressive.
Yeah, it was great.
Satisfying. But I did, set piece wise, I enjoyed the cop with the saw dowel. That shit was kind of fucking freaky for 75. You know, I was like, oh shit, this is that. I was like, is this like a supernatural movie? You know, is this where we're going? Right. And when it smashed the head in, I was like, it just caught me off guard. So I would say that was my favorite moment, to be honest. Even though it wasn't like necessarily the most gnarly kill, I appreciated that.
Hell yeah, that guy is a. And you know what? I could bring this up while we're talking, because these are the people, most of them that end up getting killed, or at least some of them. That guy was a really famous stage actor in Italy at the time.
Really?
He was like a pretty big deal stage actor. I love the bit where he's doing the fog, like, or the what is it called? The hot water vapor, the vapor.
The steam, and
he goes, the steam. He goes to walk out of the room. He turns around. He's like realizes what's going on. He overacts so much in so many ways. But yeah, what about you, Stu?
I'll go with. I mean, I definitely think like the iconic kill in this is that psychiatrist one that Link said, right? The doll is so creepy, and then like the misdirection was great. He took his time with old girl in the steam bath, which was crazy. Like that was a long, drawn out one.
Which is very Halloween 2, by the way. Like there's that same kill. I don't know if you guys remember Halloween 2, but there's a kill with a nurse in the hospital that doesn't go as far as this, but it's the same thing.
It does, and that definitely like feels like one of those early setting the standards for like deliberate, slow. We're not gonna move the camera. That's one thing I liked about all the kills is like the way he chose to frame it, the way we're not gonna move the camera away from this. We're gonna all experience this brutality together. Like the one where, like the steam bath kill, like when we see him like ram her head into the wall and like she turns around and look, like stuff like that is great. But I think
lingers.
Absolutely, dude. And it's really effectively like deployed in each and every kill here. But I think if I can't choose the psychiatrist, I got to go with Martha at the end, getting decapitated by the elevator. Great early elevator kill.
Right.
Looks great. Yeah, it does. So
the special effects guy, I can't remember his first name. It might be Carlos, but his last name is Rimbaldi, and he's the creator of E.T. He ended up going to the States.
Oh, wow.
And he designed E.T. And he did a lot of stuff. Yeah, he did a lot of stuff in the States. I should have looked deeper into him, but he's great, and he doesn't get the credit that like a Tom Savini or whatever does. But he was an innovator in so many. Just think about these kills compared to like Blood and Black Lace, which is the most gnarly kills that we've seen so far in this series. It's 10 years prior to this. But I feel like this is a step up. Even it's definitely a step up from Argento's Bird with the Crystal Plumage and his previous films before this. And I feel like it's also like just the gnarliest of all the giallo films. I could see Fulci doing some gnarlier stuff.
One thing I also wanted to mention on the psychic kill, I love how there was like a knock at the door or whatever, and she went to the door and then she felt that presence there, and she stopped right before answering it, and there was like that perfectly executed dramatic pause before he kicked the door in, and then it was like Link said, man, once he started hacking, it was fire. So that was a really good one. Like,
I love that shit, and the music is just slamming through all of it. You mentioned the girl with the water. I love before she gets killed, or she goes out. Somebody left her house. She's going out because she's freaked out. This baby doll is hanging, and then when she comes back in, she's walking, and then you see the killer come up behind her. Goblin says, "All right, you ready?" The Goblin kicks in, and it just looks so fucking cool. And I love that it's like we don't always get the Blood and Black Lace look in all the giallo films. A lot of them have it, have the black glove killer and the trench coat and the fedora. But this is one of the best. Like he just looks so cool. And then it's straight out of Blood and Black Lace, almost the same design, other than the face.
I loved the gloves and shit, like the intricate zip up design.
So like, sick. I gotta get some.
Is it true that Argento was like the killer?
Always.
That's awesome.
Which he takes a lot of shit for. Let's talk about that for a moment. Because a lot of people call him like a misogynist. He's always killing women in his film. And it's what he said, and that he has to be the one that does it. So he's definitely a misogynist. But like what he says is, first of all, remember his background. He grew up with his mother, the photographer, shooting all these beautiful women. And he says, like, it's art. If you're going to put something on screen, I would rather have something. If I'm going to kill something, I want what I kill to be beautiful. So first of all, I
just found like the general tone and the message of this movie to be progressive, especially like with the stuff with the gay relationship.
Yes.
What's his name was having? Like the whole way they treated that with respect and reverence, I thought was really impressive for a movie of this time. So like, I don't get that vibe at all from him.
Right. That person, it's kind of interesting. First of all, it seems really ahead of its time. Right. Just having a trans character in your movie and just the way they're treated. But it's cool what they did. I'm pretty sure it's a female that's playing them, and then they put the mustache on the female, but then they voice that person with a male,
with a man,
just to throw you off a little bit more. And I've always thought that was really clever and really cool.
Yeah.
Just to play with that. I think, that's why I think he was so ahead of his time in so many ways. What I wanted to say about
that was a brilliant character moment because it like endeared you to what's his name, Carlo, a little bit more, and everything he was going through. But
just like on the kills and the style, it's not a kill. It's just stylistically, there's something that they do a lot, and this is kind of hard to explain. Not hard to explain, but it's hard to grasp through words. But like the way that the camera, like when the camera decides to move. You know what I mean? Like say the camera will be there and it'll start to follow a character for a second and then it'll stop and turn and look at something else. And it's like the camera is a character in the movie. It's very Hitchcockian, and we saw it. Bava did some of that in Blood and Black Lace, but it's so fucking good.
That's amazing. There's a shot when he's playing the piano and the camera comes in through the curtains and like it starts to approach him for a minute. You think it's the killer, and then it stops, and you're like, "Oh, like it's the kid." Like that freaked me out for a minute because I was like, "Damn! Like, is he gonna look up and see it? Like, he's right there. Like, he's on top of him."
The other moment,
really well done.
Right along the same time, is they have the camera on Marcus while he's at the piano, and then all of a sudden the camera just takes off and leaves the room and goes to the door. And we see the killer open the door and just shit like that. Again, it reminds me of Blood and Black Lace. That one bit that we get with the suit of armor. You know what I'm talking about? When the camera, they're about to follow the character. That it's like, no, maybe there's something back here. And he was close to him too. They were Dario Argento is good friends with Lamberto Bava, who's the son of.
But it was just brilliant. I thought it was brilliantly shot, dude. Like the shot down from the piano, right? And then you're watching him play the piano, and you see that little bit of dust trickle in on the side of the frame, and then you follow the dust up to the ceiling. Like that was just so well done.
It is so fucking good.
Yeah.
So okay, this is what I want to know. As I said, we all watched the American cut, and like I said, they cut out a lot of the romance, they cut out a lot of the humor, but they also cut out like at least one, maybe two, like steps in the investigation. And I find this true of almost every giallo that I've ever seen. A lot of times, like Marcus will show up somewhere. He's starting to investigate. He's like, he's at this plant place. Anybody ever buy these plants before? And I'm like, where the fuck did you even hear about these plants? You know what I mean? It's a lot of times confusing why they are where they're at investigating. Yeah. And it's like, usually it's just a throwaway line. It's real quick. It's not very clear. And it's even, that's why I say like the longer cut is even more unclear, but then clogs up some holes at the same time. So like Stu, what did you think? I know we touched on pacing, but how confused were you like with the investigation and the mystery, and how into it were you?
I was into it in the sense like that it was a super cool movie, and like, the like I said earlier, like the style, the whole feel of it was dope. From the jump, like they established the kills as being, worth hanging out for. I struggled with the pacing and where the story was going, and like until we kind of got the wrap up at the end where like it's the Carlo reveal and all that, like it was, I was not putting things into place, and like the whole thing, like him seeing her in the hallway was cool, but it's like it's kind of like too little, too late to me at that point. You know?
Did you see her? This is both. No. Yeah, I want to know. Did you see her in the mirror?
No, and it's
no.
Neither of you did. I almost text you guys because to me, now that I know it's there, you guys know what I'm talking about. Like early in the movie when he walks past the mirror, you see the fucking killer. She's there playing his day, but obviously it wasn't in HD back in the day. It sure as shit wasn't in 4K. But I almost text you guys, be like, "Hey, if you think you see something, don't rewind." But then I'm like, "No, that's too leading."
Her pale ass blended right in. Are you kidding me? All them like paintings of death and torment and torture they got going on in that hallway, like she fit right in.
If like I think Allison Troy said earlier, or Sale, if the next time you rewatch it, it will be so obvious. You'll be like, "What? She's right there." It's so damn clear, which leads into the theme. That's a big thing in Argento movies in general is memory. But Lake, what about you? What did you think of the pacing and the mystery and the reveal? You could talk about.
I to be honest, I didn't really know. Like towards the end, I was like, bro, I really don't know who's gonna be the killer.
Yeah,
like I didn't
know what's going on.
Yeah, I honestly didn't. But I was down for the ride. When it got to the Carlo bit, I was like, because oddly enough, when the first murder happened and our main character is like, he sees it, he's running outside and he finds the dude. I'm like, oh, that's the killer, bro. He's just oddly there at the
Carlo.
Right
okay,
time.
yeah,
Carlo, yeah,
right.
And,
but he's also there when the murder happens, though. Like again, it's confusing, but the next time you watch it, that is how it goes down. They're standing together. So that's why I'm confused why Marcus is like, oh, it takes him like an hour and a half to figure out, like, oh, wait a minute, it could have been Carlo. He was standing right fucking next to me during the kill.
And he pieced that together but I believe his reasoning, he said he was like, Carlo had come from the other side of the street, so it couldn't have been him, or some shit like that. But so I was like, so who is the killer? I saw the mom surprised me. I honestly I didn't see that coming. So I was down for the ride. I just honestly couldn't put two and two together. So like you said, where's he getting these clues from? Right. Where's an audience member? Who am I supposed to be? And maybe they did the job. Maybe that was they didn't want you to guess as to who the killer was. But I was honestly shocked when it was revealed. It was like the Carlo I saw coming, but then couldn't have been just Carlo, or it would turn out. Was Carlo helping his mom with the kills, or was he just covering up?
This is something I noticed on this rewatch. Like, if you take the killer, if you take her word, then she says Carlo never killed anybody. Because I thought the same thing. Like, okay, maybe he did some of the murders and they were in on it together, but he was just covering for his mom the whole time, I guess. And she is the only killer in the movie, according to her.
There's a really interesting moment in that opening sequence or whatever when she kills her husband, right? And Carlo, as a kid, is watching it happen, where like the shadows are playing on the wall, and it looks like they're both taking turns stabbing him.
Oh, you know what I mean? At the very opening scene.
I don't know if it's in the opening one or the closest. You know how they played that sequence twice?
I think it was.
They play it more than once.
The drawing kind of looks like that. Like the drawing, like the child's drawing. The kid has a big smile on his face, and I feel like they both have a knife in their hand. So maybe you're right. I've never picked up on that. I love the beginning. I love la la la, like the music that they're playing.
The music. Disturbing.
Back to the mystery part. That's one of the parts of the mystery that it's like, what? And this is like indicative of giallo in general. It's like, yes, I heard the killer was playing music, and it's like, oh, I once heard about some music once, some childlike music that was playing at a house, and something bad happened. Someone wrote a book about it. So, but there's a lot like that. Like someone writes that book, so they look up the book and who wrote that? And that's the girl. I'm pretty fucking sure that's Rigetti, the one that gets her face smashed in the water. She's the one that wrote the book about the house, and everything is so like really? that's the clue that you got, and you're not even a real detective, and you're able to follow like these clues. It's very confusing. I've
And the
seen this movie
police.
like 6 or 7 times, and I'm still confused by it every fucking
Yeah,
time.
it's tough.
Sal saying I felt like the reporter Gianna Dario Nicolodi was the killer at first. They kept focusing on a woman putting on eyeshadow. I love the moment
good call,
when
bro.
he's at the house. He discovers the body that we find out is Carlo's dad behind the wall, which is pretty cool. I do love that moment where he sees like, oh, there used to be a window there. But the moment afterwards where the house is burning and it just shows her and she's over his body looking like the killer. You're like, oh shit, this is the reveal. She is the killer. And then they just like just the look of her there is really cool. But I love that moment.
It is.
Sal
That was
saying
a
I like
deep
Marcus
red herring.
struggling to uncover that painting behind the wall.
He was like, ugh.
When he's
trying to
when he's going out with his
Well,
fingernails, I'm like, you're gonna break your fingernail. Like something really disturbing about that. It is so weird. It's cool as shit, but it's so weird. Like what leaves them there? And then he goes over to the girl next door, and she just happens to have that same painting. She's like, "Well, I was at school once, and they had a bunch of old
What a
paintings." Like Jesus Christ, it's so silly, so silly, but so good. And like, it makes it rewatchable because you do pick. It's so convoluted that you will definitely pick something up each time that you watch the movie.
So true.
Yeah.
Yeah, just like the other. I just wanted to mention like the soup. It's like there's supernatural elements that are like a red herring in the movie. They're almost trying to make you think maybe this is a ghost story. They keep talking about this haunted house. Like Sal mentioned, the way the bird like flies into the needle
Oh
at
yeah, that
Righetti's house. And before that, like the lights are flickering and stuff. So it's like, is there a ghost? But it's like I said, I'm pretty sure that's just a red herring. Yes, Allison. Yes. My fingertips hurt every time I watch that scene. I know. I'm like, Jesus Christ, go get something quicker. All right, so let's get before we rate this bad boy, get up out here. Let's talk about the themes. It's layered, and like I said, it's even more thematically rich and dense in the European cut. But I think most of it is still there in the US cut. They just kind of go a little deeper with the battle of the sexes and the gender stuff, and probably more. There's a like, the bit where he gets in the car and like his seat kind of sinks down, and it's like that's supposed to be like this demasculating thing, and the sun blind keeps on falling down. There's more of that. They get in her car more, and there's just a lot more scenes like that. But Stu, you're able to pick out any themes, meaning, and what this bad boy is saying to you?
I don't know, bro. I was trying to think earlier about themes, and this thing is kind of just is all over the place, man. I think it's really
a lot. Yeah.
I think in the end, it's proof that like a movie can work without having a story that's either solid or told in a sequential, like, comprehensive manner.
Right.
This story is jumbled and all over the fucking place, but the way the kills are put together, the music, the way it's shot, like, the iconic doll, like the attentions that's given to the little things that really matter, I think, makes this movie shine. So it's hard for me to be like it's about the battle of the sexes, because there was a little bit of that, but it's just it's there, then it's gone. To me, I think, with this movie, it says to me, and will always say to me, like, I think when I look back on it, is that style wins, man. At the end of the day, even if your story is anemic or it's not all the way there, or you're kind of grasping at strings, like, trying to connect your plot. If your style is strong enough, and what you want to say artistically is emphatic enough, like, it will be remembered and lauded and celebrated. And that's what this one is for me. Like, the story is fucking bizarre. I'll never understand it. I don't think, and like you said, you've seen it 6-7 times and you still don't. But dude, I will go back and rewatch this one for like some of these scenes and some of this imagery, like, time and time again. So.
Oh yeah. When you do, I hope the next time you guys watch the movie, and hell, maybe a couple years from now, we'll review the Italian cut or whatever. But like, you guys will be like, how the fuck did this story even work without all this stuff? Because there's so many things that are like, okay, that's where they got the clue. to do. You know what I mean? It's so weird
Yeah.
to see the full cut and be like, wow, they can still make a movie cutting all this shit out. But before I go to you, Link, read Sal's comment real quick. The kills feel very personal, though. I agree, man. Like the killer wanted to really hurt the victim and not just kill them quickly. Definitely. It's like it's mean-spirited. You don't bang someone's teeth off 10 different counters unless you've got a real issue with this
But
person.
now that I think about it, the one that he took his time with was his girl, right? The reporters, like the one who got steamed and all that.
Mm-hmm. His girl?
So, like that's his muse, right?
Dario's muse?
So the one who played his
Rigetti
was his muse. Yeah. Was she the one who got killed like with the steam?
No, I don't think she even died.
No,
You're talking about the one that in real life, his muse, like the one that married Dario Argento?
The main girl, right?
Yeah.
No,
the reporter.
I think she fucking lives. She gets stabbed at the end by Carlo. I don't know if she dies or not, to be perfectly honest with you. I can't remember.
Yeah, they don't cut back to it. She gets stabbed and like he's Carlos cradling her, and then like that's the last we see of her.
Right.
They don't cut back.
You're talking about Rigetti, who I think is the
it.
author. I think she's the one that just happened to write this story about the house of the screaming, the house of the screaming child. Right. Lake, you pull out any themes from this bad boy you want to add to?
Easy one is trauma, childhood trauma. In Carlos' case, obviously, you never know the extent or the ramifications of how long certain event. Like people will try to downplay situations sometimes, but you don't know the long-term effects of something and how it could build up to something. But also with like the perception of reality, there's things with that in terms of like the red herring with who they're conveying as the killer to the audience with the chick with the eyeshadowing, even with the killers being right there at the beginning of the movie, or it's like even Carlo, or not Carlo, but the main guy, when he's like putting it together, he's like, he even has like a moment of clarity where I feel like he realizes it was the mom right before she like attacks him, so he's like, the clues have been there right in front of his face the whole time.
It's like he sees it again, right? It's like he finally it's just like anything. Somebody will say something, and maybe like a minute, a couple seconds later, then it'll register. Your brain will be like, that's what they said, or whatever. It's like, do you guys remember in Suspiria? It's the same fucking thing. Susie Bannon shows up at the dance studio, and the girl that gets killed first, she comes out and she's like, "It's the flower, the blue lotus." But we don't hear that then. We just hear, and then at the end of the movie, she's like, "Oh, that's what she said, the blue lotus." And that's what he continues to go back to, that exactly what you said, not just memory, but like your perception of reality and what we're told and what we believe and what is actually real, and the disconnect between those things. And then the other thing that I'll add is exactly what you said, is the childhood trauma. I'm sitting here trying to think. Taking out Dracula, Prince of Darkness, because that was in a different world.
Right.
I think every one of these movies has dealt with some kind of childhood trauma from the parent.
Yeah.
We've got the mother's issues in Psycho, the daddy issues in Peeping Tom, and then Blood and Black Lace. That, I guess it wasn't there, right? No, it was just greed. It was just more or less like a greed thing. There was no real trauma in that one. So all right, let's go ahead and wrap this bitch around. Oh wait, did there anything I want to say? No, I get there's an art thing. There's something about this mixture between art and death and dangerous art, which there's others. It's a reoccurring thing in Argento films, and this is just like that painting or that drawing tends to be dangerous, or something. There's something about that that's connected to violence.
Right.
But in other ones, there's literally people are killed by pieces of art. And it's something that he keeps coming back to, is like this danger, edgy art, which is really cool. But let's rate this bad boy, get about this thing, kick it off for us, Stu.
Man, this is gonna be one of those like
good one, Allison.
Reviews where I gotta give it points based on how I feel. It's more like I'm going with my emotional, connection to this movie and the style of it all and the artistic statement of it all, over like, all the dry talking points that you would throw at it. Like, did the plot make sense or whatever? I think, when it comes to movies or what you want from a film, this one checked so many boxes. So I'm gonna give it a 4 out of 5, man. I think it's incredibly shot. The music is amazing. Some of the best kills, dude. Like when we're talking about in our series of movies that we talked about up to this point, this one has got like the best kills, I think. Thus
definitely,
far, dude.
Definitely.
And it was just dope to see that, you know, in '75 they were pulling stuff like this off. So yeah, man, the plot is nonsensical, and it's bizarre and it's hard to follow, but come for the kills, come for the style, come for the cinematography, the camera work, come for Goblin, come for the music.
Yes, yeah.
So
it really
4 out of
does.
5 to me.
It's so if Goblin wasn't doing this, it would be a completely different movie. I
It
really
really
wonder.
would.
I wonder where they were at in the filmmaking process when they got Goblin. You know what I mean? Did some of these scenes get extended because they knew they had Goblin? And a lot of it, like just picture like when Marcus is walking around in the house. How much of that is like, oh, he's walking up the stairs. Let's shoot it fucking crazy. Let's shoot it through this artwork. And then, like, you know what? We can get it from a couple different really cool angles. It's just them like doing cool stuff with the camera for large chunks of this movie. Like, I wanted to ask AI because they might know that fucker might know. Like, how much of this movie doesn't have dialogue? How much of this movie is like just them following people around? Like, I bet a lot, a huge percentage of it.
That shot when he's down there in that kind of like abandoned intersection, and you got the what is it? The Edward Hopper's Nighthawks painting diner.
Oh yeah, I'm glad you brought that up.
Right, and he turns and watches the old girl get killed, and the glass smashes. That is such a beautifully shot and executed scene, dude.
Did you
A1?
Go ahead, Luke.
Oh, you guys remind me of a dope scene I wanted to highlight. The bathroom scene when he like walks up on her and we're seeing like him through the reflection of just like the angle they were using. It was very stylized for a 70, like the what was it, 75?
Yes.
I was very impressed with that. I didn't think, you know, they were even capable of shots like that around that era. So
right.
And for this to come from a giallo film alone, you know, very impressive.
Let me ask you something, because you just reminded me of something. When they do that whole steam bit and we can read what's on the wall, which for some reason I love that. It's like kind of corny. Just the way it's played is so corny, but I kind of love it. You look down, all we say is it was. And I think I don't know why. I always assume like that's all that he saw. It's like, why is he so excited about it? Did you guys take that as like all we saw was it was, but that character Giordani, the guy that gets his mouth smashed off everything, that he actually saw the name of the killer at that moment, and then that's why he gets killed next? Is that the way you guys?
I just thought they came up short. That's
same here.
He's all excited afterwards, and he says that lady. She's like, "What are you doing?" He's like, "I'm just finding out who the murderer was." So I always thought that was silly, and this time I'm like, "Oh, maybe there was more that we didn't see." Like it's just agreed. It was.
My thought was like, bitch, choose your letters wisely. Why you spend all that time? Just put the name up there.
Just say the name.
Just write the name. Just write the name. Goddammit.
Hello, the date is blah blah. Like
that's a great point. First of all, this really hurts. Oh my god, my lips are huge.
It's give and take right now. I don't know if I'm gonna make it.
It's cold right now.
I love it. I'm late before I go to you. Allison says I give it 1.5 creepy puppets, 2 split fingernails, and 1 psycho body in the mirror for a total of 3.5. Then she realizes her math wasn't mathing, so she's giving it 4.5 stars. I like that. That's kind of like, I don't know, it's kind of classy to give it stars. Sal's giving it a 4. And what are you giving it, Link? By the way, you guys that are in here, Allison, Sal, if there was anybody else, there's a couple more in here, Dr. Doom, we plan on changing one of the Horror Fest. We have The Conjuring, but instead I want to make that like a fan's choice that you guys will be able to pick. So when we've got a decent amount of people in here, or hell, if you guys want to give some nominees right now, I'll write them down. And those can be movies that we'll vote out. This might be a thing that takes a few weeks, and we'll trickle in some nominees. But if you guys want to nominate a spooky movie, if you know what I mean, like a movie that has like supernatural elements that would be considered scary, kind of in the world of The Conjuring, like Insidious, shit like that, but not The Exorcist.
13
you know what I mean? It can be
No, I'm
pretty
just
fucking good.
kidding.
Just specifically not The Exorcist and not The
Dude,
Shining.
I'm there. Like, say less, bro.
13 Ghosts, okay.
And
Matthew
not
Lillard,
13 Ghosts. Come the fuck on.
It's a
Something
classic.
legit,
It's a
dude.
classic.
Something actually scary.
Tony
Not made for
Shalhoub, what
children.
more do you want?
Link, what do you give it an out of 5, brother?
I'm right there with everybody. I said I'll give it 4.2. A 4. Just it was a very solid movie all around for me. Even with that's just part of giallo. I'm understanding it's got to be convoluted in some sort of sense, but everything else was on the money, and I bump it up to 4.25 because of Goblin. You know, like I said, it'd be a completely different beast without Goblin. So they get that distinction with the 0.25 because they added quite a bit to it.
I'm right there with you, brother. I'm gonna give it. I could go like. I could, I get it. You could give this thing a 3.5, and I wouldn't hate you for it.
Yeah,
you
right.
could give it a 5,
Yeah.
and I would
thought
totally
about
understand that
3.5,
too.
like straight up.
Yes,
I'll give it a 4.25 specifically for this is something I notice more and more the more horror movies that I watch. Where else can you go to get this? You know what I mean? Like what else? Who else did shit like this that's got this good of camera moving, this good of kills, this good of music, and it's just cool to like look at and feel. You know what I mean? It's like it's few and far between. And you're really not going to find it outside of it.
In that vein, like the elevator kill, right? Like, and I know we were last week or the week before we were talking about Final Destination Bloodlines. I watched that. By the way, great elevator kill.
Oh hell yeah. Yes.
Great elevator kill in that one. So this one has a great one. Is this like the first elevator? Like, where are we at in terms of like history of like these type of like? Because now elevator kills are all over the place, right?
So common, yeah.
Yeah.
It's a good question. I honestly have no idea. Might be the first, definitely.
Yeah, it's definitely got to be one of the first, like, because I don't even think they were allowed to get away with shit like this in the States at 75, were they?
They were doing almost anything like this. I mean, I think they could do it because there were certain movies like Bucket of Blood. I can't think of the guy's name that he just made these. We've mentioned him on the show before. There were certain American directors that were real low budget and like just shitty movies, but had crazy gore, just blood everywhere. But they're like barely watchable outside of being like, oh, there's these movies that are really gory in like the early 60s. I think Bucket of Blood is one that I'm talking about from that guy. Thank you, Allison Troy, Herschel Gordon Lewis. Thank you. And they're cool to watch on an academic level, just to check out. And
absolutely,
but not good. It was before the elevator death in Damien too. Definitely. Yeah, definitely. Sal saying, I like how it looks like Carlo is just going to be hit by the garbage truck, but then he gets ceremoniously dragged. It's so great. It's so great the way he gets dragged.
Kind of
head smashed off the curb.
Bro, he gets every freaking curb.
It's great.
I'm surprised he was still alive by the time they stopped at first. Like, I mean, he was barely hanging on, but I thought my man was going to be shredded by the time it was done.
It's so extravagant. It's so fucking Argento. And it's good. They build it up. It should be. They end with a bang. Yeah. I think this is like pound for pound at the era in 1975, like the most good kills in any of these movies that I can think of. There's a bunch of Italian horror movies that have gnarly moments, but this is like this has the most best kills that are best shot.
It's funny you bring that up because when I was watching this today, I was like, even though it was like a 10-decade removed from the last film on Road to Halloween, still I thought that was a significant, like, and even in 75 for them to be this brutal, from what we last saw, like it was an extreme step up,
It's crazy like how much cinema had changed and how much standards had changed. And maybe, you know what I mean, without Blood and Black Lace, like, would we have got here? There's a good chance we would have went a different route. Like, it wouldn't have got here. So it's kind of cool. So 4 from Stu, 4.25 from Link and I, and that'll wrap it up, man. This Sunday, I forgot to announce this before, but yeah, I keep forgetting that I'm doing this, man. I've been doing this Evil Dead series with my buddies Peter and Eric from Two Geeks Different Streets. This is Eric's favorite series. This is his favorite movie in the series, and Pete has never seen any of them, so it's kind of been fun to do that. But I've seen this movie like 3 or 4 times, and like I'm always like 30 minutes into it, and I just can't fucking get into this movie. So I'm gonna watch it. I'll probably watch it a couple times when we're here on Sunday. People love this movie. People adore it, but I've never been able to get into it. Yeah, definitely. But that's going on Sunday here on the channel. I think like 5:30 Central Time. We're going to do it a little bit later than our normal Sunday shows. Next Thursday, baby, will be the kickoff here on Blood Splatter Chatter for Horror Fest. This is also part of the Road to Halloween series. We just have 2 movies left in the Road to Halloween series: Texas Chainsaw, then Black Christmas, before we actually do Halloween. But we are into Horror Fest, not starting on Thursday, but starting on Monday over on Pop Culture Philosophers. Link and I will both be there for the Candyman franchise. Just 4 of them. There's just 4 of them. So go watch them and go come hang out with us.
Too much homework.
Yeah, it's not too fucking crazy. But that's going to be fun to get over on Robbie's channel for the kickoff of Horror Fest 2025. And then throw this out here. The first time that we've seen an official Jason thing since 2009, short film. It's kind of like a commercial for what is to come in the Jason universe. It's on the Jason Universe YouTube channel and their official website. Robbie and I watched it last night. It's 13 minutes. We watched it, and then we got together right afterwards, and we spent about a half hour talking about that and about the future of the Jason universe, including the Camp Crystal Lake show that's coming up. So it was a lot of fun. Go check it out. The short film, and then what we did, and then Big Stu, tell people what you got going on.
Yeah, what did you like?
I dug it.
No, I was talking about the Jason thing. That one came out of the blue for me. I didn't know that was dropping, so that was cool to think.
You went and watched it?
I did. I went and checked it out, man. I had no idea. I had no idea like the franchise had been in limbo like that. That's unfortunate to hear. When's Crystal Lake coming out? Where is that coming out at?
It's not set in stone yet, but the rumblings are October, possibly on Halloween night.
Oh, wow.
That's
what streaming service is that supposed to be?
Peacock. It's A24 teamed up with Peacock.
Oh, okay.
It wasn't until yesterday when you and Robbie were doing the stream that I realized I was like, damn, we haven't had a Jason project since 2000. Like we went the whole 2010s without.
That's nuts, dude.
Like Freddy, I get. Freddy's a complicated character to kind of.
That's what I was just looking
at in today's climate. But
we
Jason,
haven't had him
bro?
that's what I'm looking up because you made me think of it. 2010 for Freddy.
Insane.
So we haven't had either of them. It's been Michael and Chucky and Ghostface kind of owning the old classic killers since then.
Freddy, I get though, because I feel like if they were to try to bring back Freddy now, there would be a major alteration to his backstory because their OG Freddy is too much of a hot topic for
problem.
I totally get what you're saying, but I think it was always a little bit ambiguous whether or not he was a child molester. Is that what you're talking about? I think you could do it with just him being a child murderer and kind of get away with it.
Yeah.
What up, Evan?
Why haven't those 2 properties been active though? Like
I don't know.
You can make money. Like,
well, I mean, with the Jason,
not bankable.
With the Jason franchise, there's all this legal situation between Victor Miller, the guy that wrote the original Friday the 13th, Sean S. Cunningham, the guy that owned the property at the time and like came up with the idea, and I think he co-wrote it maybe and directed it, and New Line Cinema and Warner Brothers. So I don't know all the details on it, but that's what it was. It was all these different things, and something just got settled this like past year, which allowed them to move forward and be able to make some kind of property.
Damn, that's crazy.
Okay.
Yeah,
that's cool.
Well, hopefully they can get something on the screen soon.
Yes, Evan. That's one thing I hated about the Freddy.
It's definitely
They lean too much into the pedo stuff, the kiddie stuff. Yeah. It's like that's not fun. I want to, you know what I mean? Like,
it's all about disgusting. It was just too on the nose. Like it's all about the implication, the insinuation.
That's so true,
which Evan, I would say it's kind of implied that maybe he was more, but it's exactly what you're saying. Like it's like you could watch that movie 50 times and never think that he was a pedo.
No,
but you could also watch it the first time and be like, oh, you know what I mean? Like you could take it that way.
He's a weird dude. Yeah,
weird dude for sure. Stu, tell people what you got going on.
Man. Notes from the editors every Tuesday night, 9:30 p.m. Eastern on the 9-Panel Grid channel, and then Ink and Insights every Wednesday night, 9:30 p.m. Eastern.
What the fuck is this? Give me more than that. What's notes from the editor?
Notes from the editor is just comic book conversations between E and I on a variety of subjects, different subject every week. This past week we did British Invasion of Comics. the movie in the late 80s that changed the game. And then like episode 1, we did our Mount Rushmore, our top 4 creators.
Nice, dude.
of
I
all
love
time.
it.
So,
Are you
yeah.
still going back and forth for Ink and Insights between your
So
two channels?
like no, now we've just separated them. So Ink and Insights is permanently on Dunedin
Love it.
Fan Club.
I like that. That's a good idea.
Yeah.
Cool. All
Yeah,
right,
man.
so I dig it, man. And then Link, I know you got what you got going on.
Monday, I will be over at Robbie's for the Candyman franchise. And then here Thursday every night, every Thursday night, 9 p.m. Eastern. Next week, what? Not Blood Splatter Chatter. I was gonna say that's a movie, but Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Yeah,
I'm stoked, man.
I'm
I'm
ready.
very stoked.
Yeah.
I love that you've never seen it. I think
I cannot wait.
that's quite fun,
You
man.
haven't
It's good.
seen?
No, dude, I've never seen it. It's one of those like classics that I've never seen. So
There
I
will
can't
be
wait.
one character that you're gonna fucking hate. You'll see. You'll watch it and be like, kill this guy. Kill this motherfucker. You'll know exactly who I'm talking about as soon as you get to him.
But we need an Aliens Earth review from you two fellas on a Sunday or something, man.
Dude, if I wasn't doing Army of Darkness this Sunday, we would be doing that. But yeah, I think that would be cool.
Yeah,
We'll try to squeeze it in.
Great show.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. I have not seen it yet, but I've heard nothing but good things from both you guys. But all right, let's get about this thing. I appreciate all you guys in the chat. Evan, Allison, Sal, anyone else that was up in here. I really, really appreciate you guys. And remember, come hang out with us. I plan on giving away like 4 or 5, who knows, maybe even more Jason Mastering Horror Fest. We're going to have you guys pick out at least one of the movies for us. We're going to swap out The Conjuring. So I'm very excited about that. And I'm just realizing, remember that problem I told you I was having, Stu? That means I can't do my outro. It's not letting me scroll down to do my outro. That's all right. We'll just replay the intro. We'll play the bonus blood out. I like that. Bonus blood intro. Thank you guys so much. We'll see you on Sunday for Army of Darkness, 5:30 Central Time.